to the COG Invitational. I'm Chris, being joined by Incon from AFK and Anatoly, formerly from Eager. We're going to be here to talk about the last set before we're going to the grand finals of Eager versus Cloud9. So, Incon, how are you feeling? I know it wasn't what you guys were hoping for as a result. It was 0-2 loss. How you doing?
The situation wasn't ideal, but it's good to get the losses out of the way now due to unfortunate circumstances than later at the Super Regionals.
Fair enough, fair enough. So, what was the highlight for those series? What really do you think did Cloud9 do to best you guys?
Cloud9 played really well. They had strong drafts. They had a couple picks like Cupid that we weren't very used to, and it always helps to be able to use your abilities.
That's useful. Anatoly, how do you feel about Cloud9 this past series?
I feel like Cloud9 definitely played a very safe and standard game the first game and second game. The Cupid pick was a little bit off, but it's definitely a comfort pick by BaRRaCCuDDa. So moving forward, Baskin actually playing very well considering it's to their first LAN. And like Incon said, AFK is a veteran team, and they're going to use this loss as a stepping stool to move forward into the future. They're not going to take it too much to heart.
And actually, with that subject, the Cupid pick. So Cupid came up a lot, especially with the Bluestone. I remember day one, the first thing I heard when I came here was, does Bluestone proc twice on Cupid? So in terms of it being a weird pick, has that been something that's kind of developed over time at LAN as players just talk about cool new picks?
Yeah, so one thing you want to do at the LAN is bring out a pick that nobody expects. I brought out Kumbhakarna in the first game. You always want to have a sleeper pick. No pun intended for Kumba. But you want to have something people aren't used to because they're not used to playing against it. That's the Cupid concept.
That's cool. I like the pun. I think it's a good pun. That's a high quality. When I heard it, I'm like, I cannot crack up.
Got to make them sleepy so that they can go AFK, right?
And actually, AFK, you guys don't lose often. How are the boys handling the loss?
At the end of the second game, we kind of decided just to have fun with it, kind of, not troll, but, build Soul Reaver and, get Fist of the Gods and Hades, just to have fun to make sure the morale is good and everybody's ready to get back to it next week.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, we have the finals coming up. Going to be Cloud9 versus Eager. I want to talk about momentum, but they're both 2-0 in their last set, so who are you guys rooting for so far?
Us, we're always rooting for Eager because they're our scrim partners, but realistically, I just want it to be an awesome set. I want it to go to 5 games.
Exactly what Incon said. I'm also rooting for Eager, dig for dig, root for root. But this should be, they're both blue and white colors, so it's like, how can you predict, blue and white? They're both eager to be on Cloud9, I guess.
See, now I have to root for Cloud9. It's like we have too many Eager-related players here right now. It's like C9. But with that in mind, it's a best of 5 instead of a best of 3, so we're going to have more games, more chances for teams to learn from each other mid-series. What's going to be the big pick, do you think? What's going to be another Hell or just another Cupid? Is something going to surprise us?
I have a feeling that we're going to not see too much Hell. I think Eager's either going to be picking it immediately if it's not banned, but I don't think C9 wants to mess with it. I don't think Baskin's ready to play Hell, so they're going to be looking to either get the Odin for the counter pick or just ban it completely.
I could see another high burst god from middle for Lassiz. He's very comfortable with Poseidon and Janus, so we'll see those 2 comfort picks, I think, for Eager.
All right. And actually, let's go for the raw prediction. What do you think it's going to be? 3-1, 3-2? Who do you have to take it?
They both have a lot of momentum right now, so it can be hard to tell. I think the first game, whoever wins, is going to determine a lot, and it's probably going to end up going 3-1 for whoever wins the first game.
Yeah, that's actually a good way of putting it. Whoever has the momentum is going to be able to win it all. And I think the first game, like Incon said, is going to determine a lot throughout the rest of the games.
So actually, teams look like they're just about ready. Hopefully we can get into picks and bans in just a few seconds. Looks like we are into picks and bans now, so let's go ahead, transition there. Already have that first quick Serket ban. She never lasts, does she?
No, Serket's one of those bans you want to get off the table. It is surprising to see it banned in the first pick position, though. Typically, you want to keep her open, but Eager has not played her lately, and they've been banning her regardless of where they are.
Yeah, Eager's been playing actually Thor, a lot of Kuang for Daretocare, and so Serket definitely not. It's in their god pool, but they'd rather just not play against it or play with it, so they ban it out as Khepri gets banned by Cloud9.
Yeah. Actually, let's talk about ban strategies. So I feel like the first bans are always going to be those kind of consistent bans. Khepri, Serket, very often banned out. I think Khepri had 1 game so far in this tournament. Serket's been permanently banned, I believe, the entire tournament. So you use that first ban for the consistency. What do you use the second ban for?
So right here, typically, it's really depending on the side that you're on usually. The first pick side is typically banning characters that they don't that are kind of strong, but not like the most strong because you have that first pick potential. You know, you pick your top 3 gods, like they only can ban 2 of them, so we get at least one of the strongest gods in the game.
And we see a Thor ban coming out of Eager, so that's definitely targeted towards Andinster. He had a very solid performance the first game against AFK, so they definitely don't want that comfort pick again. Eager has probably something planned in the jungle side, so they'd rather just not deal with Serket or Thor, as Hell does get banned by Cloud9.
And of course, Geb for the first pick. I always see that rocky face in the top left corner of the screen, I think almost every game at this point. So let's talk about Baskin a bit. He's kind of the fresh face at the LAN scene. What do you think they're going to kind of rotate him towards as Sun Wukong does get locked in?
Baskin loves typically bruiser-type characters. You see the Wukong locked in already. Now, that could be for Andinster. Andinster has been playing it in ranks lately, but right now that's kind of a flex pick. They banned out the Hell, though, which is a hard counter to Wukong, so I'd expect to see an 80-20 right now in the solo lane.
Yeah, going off the momentum, Baskin definitely playing lights out, so he's definitely comfortable with those warriors as Sun Wukong and Janus is getting locked in for Cloud9. I like to expect him to go into the Bluestone Pennant, playing very aggressive against whoever the solo lane is going to be from Omega, so we'll see what they elect to do on the Eager side of things as Xbalanque is hovered over, and we're waiting for the lock-ins here.
Yeah, of course, you can always switch at that last second. That Xbalanque could, of course, be a lie. But he's always consistently picked. What makes Xbalanque so strong? Because we see him a lot, and it's almost a given that you'll see him, frankly, in at least one game of a series. What makes Xbalanque such a good pick?
So Xbalanque is interesting because he's actually the worst hunter, arguably, for the first 5 minutes of the game or so. He has no way to really clear the wave, so you're always getting out-pushed. Pair him with a character like Geb, and there's no chance you're winning the lane. But what he has is presence across the map all the time with his ultimate, and as soon as he gets a kill or 2, he really turns on with that passive, giving him extra physical power.
And as we see Rod being locked in by Eager, instant lock-in by Cloud9 into the Odin to counter pick there. I definitely expected to see a high burst pick in the middle coming out of Eager for the objective secure. This could be also a raw solo lane. There's no double mages yet, and it's hard to say what the solo lane is going to be out of Eager, so there's still a lot of flexibility in that regard as we're waiting for the third bans out of Cloud9.
So the first ban is going to be the consistency, get rid of Khepri, get rid of Serket. Second ban, something kind of general. Now, what are these third bans going to be focused on? What is going to be the point of the Cupid ban or the...
a Willish.
Willish, man.
So the third ban is typically what you're looking at is a target ban. Cupid targeted right at BaRRaCCuDDa. A Wheelish targeted right at Daretocare. These are picks that you, after you get through your main, what's completely strong, you look into, all right, what is this character? What is this person the best with? And you want to get rid of that character. This Odin pick, though, right now is going to be a big problem for Eager. All 3 characters right now on the side of Eager cannot get out of the Odin cage, not to mention Ra won't be able to heal inside of it.
That's a good point that you mentioned. I think Eager was a little bit too eager to pick Raw in third when Odin was still on the table there, as we're still waiting for the 4th pick coming out of Cloud9. I'm assuming this is going to be wow, it's actually a Muzen cop for BaRRaCCuDDa.
All right, we have determined from yesterday's games of Cloud9 versus Team Sox, BaRRaCCuDDa loves bees. And with that Cupid band out, there goes B Cupid. Now he's got to go to the real Bee King himself, Muzen Cup. What's he going to do? Because he's not picked up that often. He's not that safe. I've heard players say that, frankly, there are better, safer carries out or hunters out there. What are they going to do to keep him alive?
So a big thing they have to do right now is Odin's going to have to be using that cage almost defensively sometimes to get AMC out of it. It's actually a great partnership with AMC, though, because of the fact that your team can run in and out of the Odin ultimate. If he gets 2-3 members of Eager inside of that, all BaRRa has to do is walk outside the cage, and they cannot get to him and do any damage. Actually a very strong pick.
Yeah, as Hercules and Kuang is being locked in out of Eager there, as Sobek is being hovered over. So if that is a Sobek pick, it's hard to determine who's going to be support for Cloud9.
Okay, and with that, we're going to go ahead, pass it off to the caster desk. Bart, Allied, and F.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the commentary desk. My name is Bart. Thank you very much, Chris, Incon, and Anatoly for breaking down the picks and bans there. As we get into this one, we are joined, of course, by the one and only David Hance.
What up, fam?
Wearing pants.
Yeah? No, I am. I'm wearing shorts, actually.
Oh, here, let me help you out, dude. You can actually hear out of your ear if you flip that thing around.
Thank you so much. I wasn't even paying attention. Thank you.
It's just part of the, you learn as you go, man.
Yeah.
You learn more and more about headsets the longer you play games.
Mm-hmm.
Shout-outs to Allied. Shout-outs to AFK Gaming Lounge. Shout-outs to Fats.
Shout-outs.
Shout-outs to Fats.
Shout-outs to Fats.
Fats trying to get that Smash Brothers cred. Really? Didn't notice.
Yeah, hey, we've actually we've got one of the players, Mewtwo King's in the building here, so AFK Gaming Lounge, really the place to be at right now. A couple of people also grabbing some lunch, watching the games live here in San Jose. Beautiful day out, awesome to be here. Finals, best of 5.
Best of 5. 3 games to win, 2 games to be up a lot. Big advantage. You got to kill the Titan to win the game, Alex.
Now, one of the biggest things.
I'm going to talk about something relevant.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things for a best of 5 is you want to win the games. You need to win 3.
Got to kill the Titan to win the game.
So
Winning
starting
games.
to win 1 is a good look.
And then you can go eat hot dogs.
Yes.
Shoutouts.
You got to win 3 first.
Got to win 3 to eat the hot dogs. Yeah, taking a look at Eager here. As we get into game, my friends and my foes. I guess you could not like us and still be watching.
BaRRaCCuDDa on the B. Last time we played Cupid in the B skin. This time, and we actually saw a music comp banned out against him.
Yeah.
Actually getting to play it this time
So
around.
is it actually good, Allied? Or is
It's good. No, I think on Muzen Cobb, like their playstyle, if you noticed, especially from our like against us last game, Cloud9 prefers a playstyle where Andinster is like, "Yo, Baskin, I'm in your lane." It's 2-1-2 meta, and pretty much there's a lot of 4-man rotations in Soul Lane, and that's what is on Muzen Cobb like. He likes to sit there, farm, hive it up, lane control, push, get big, carry the game, and you could do that with their strategy.
I'm a little surprised here that Cloud9 goes for Sobek, right? They already have the Odin complete anti-heal, but for them to draft into more anti-heal versus the raw Hercules. Do you think it was necessary, or do you think this is more for control around the Kuang?
Well, it also could be for lane matchup. Like, looking at Sobek on Muzen Cobb, they're already going to outpush hi-rez Geb. And it should be just complete lane control from there on out.
But Sobek gets exposed by Geb Shield.
No, he does.
Oh,
no, actually, they
interrupted.
nerfed it. It's still, you could still get plucked. Unless you time it very specifically, but, it doesn't, you could still get plucked, and let's say you get shielded in the air, right?
Right, you don't fall straight down.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But after the charge spray hits, there's that delay before it actually throws them, and that's where you can shield with the right reaction time, and it will stop it.
Yeah.
Just like you can beat.
But in terms of, a complete counter, it doesn't really shut down Sobek. He's still going to be very annoying, in the front line, and then one key flip could change the whole team fight, but
what do you think
I think
about,
it's for the scare factor.
What do you think about the Kuang pick into the Muzen here? I mean, Muzen really one of the premier dot-based gods in the game.
Kuang is probably the best pick. If you look at the front line for Cloud9, they have 3 warriors. 2 warriors and a guardian. A lot of front line. And what does Kuang do? He can shred anybody. No matter how tanky you are, Kuang has the options. He has the tools to really take down any god.
He has a hard time with Sun Wukong, though, right? Because you get Sun Wukong kind of low.
Yeah, and then he ults.
And then he's CC immune, right? And your ultimate will actually fire. So it's a tough kill. It's really the only tough kill, perhaps, outside of Janus, who's just impossible to lock down.
And Daretocare is actually one of the better Kuang players I've played against.
That's where I was going to go with it. Daretocare has been the player to really keep Kuang around. Kuang was top pick, top ban, can't let him in the game. Saw a couple of changes, some balance adjustments. Daretocare just kept playing him.
It's Daretocare and adapting that are still playing this god.
Right. He plays it at a high level. So not only is this god good for the moment in this particular situation, but Daretocare also will just play Kuang because he's good at it.
I want to also once again reaffirm my love for the raw pick in the current meta.
Shout out to Raw.
I think it's very, very strong. And what you'll see Lassiz do, almost guaranteed, is when they go for Gold Furies, he'll fire his 1 and his ultimate simultaneously to guarantee kills. And it's, unless you drafted like Kukulkan, they get the Gold Fury. Or unless they fail tanking. But here, in a bit of trouble is Lassiz, but he can heal himself up, and the archers do a tremendous amount of damage. All 3 still alive. You can see Andinster taking a bit more damage perhaps he's comfortable with, and Daretocare showing off a little bit of that Kuang skill will evade most of the damage out of Andy. And Andy now, how many pots is he sitting on? Because he's getting quite low. I mean, he's getting poked out pretty effectively here. One more health pot, so it'll be enough to finish off his back camps and put a pressure on a lane. But
I think they can go passively for this. Daretocare and Lassiz should pick up the mid Harpies right here. But that was a positive trade because they have Raw. The extra healing from the Raw heal and being able to control mid lane like that, Andinster's not going to be able to do anything until level 5.
I'm glad we're hovering on BaRRaCCuDDa here because I think that ultimately he factors in very heavily into whether or not Cloud9 is able to win this game. The ability for him to dot out the Kuang and reveal him in the team fights is going to be very important, as is the cripple coming out of that ultimate from the Stinger. It really is one of the best of tools against Janus. So it really I think factors pretty heavily on BaRRaCCuDDa's performance here today.
Yes. I think I like the Muzen Cobb pick. It's just going to come down to how well Cloud9 can pull off their strategy and if Bear can really just survive in team fights.
So much damage on MLC Stealth just by a couple of dragons, a couple of basics out of that Kuang. Really strong.
Somebody can get. Oh no, we see if he can go for the turnaround slam jam, but everything's on cooldown there.
And Baskin just hit level 5. It would be.
Yeah, then it was.
He would just
not
get
worth.
away every single time. So now Baskin is pretty much safe forever. I mean, there's not much that can really threaten him.
He's
so.
Sun Wukong. Well, Omega actually going to get stuck underneath his own tower. Damage coming out. Stun is good. That's a hit. And, well, Boulder's good enough to take out the kill. Great play by the solo laner on Eager to earn the team first blood.
Baskin just got exposed, man.
Yeah.
Like, he went in there thinking, like, he had complete control of that. And just really he didn't respect the burst from Omega, and not onto him, but it instantly erased the decoy.
Yes.
Right? And the fact is that Driving Strike also can instantly erase the decoy. So it's really not a safe dive, right? Because any CC removes a decoy, and then the tower immediately aggroes to you, and that's what you saw happen there. One tower hit, plus a Boulder does it.
I mean, I looked at that situation and read it in the sense that Baskin's going to get this first blood right here. Omega easily turned that around, no problem.
Also notably, the second time in the last couple of weeks that Omega has gotten a stylish solo 1v1 in the first 3 minutes of the game against the opposing super aggro solo laner.
Yeah.
Right? He did it to Cyclone Spin, and now he's done it here to Baskin Robin. And after that game against Cyclone Spin, he basically completely took over the game on the Hercules. The lane was over from there on out. It is Sun Wukong, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just Omega, being Omega. He's been doing this for years now, the same play style, the same way, but it's just very methodical. Like, everything he does it with a reason behind it, and really he just knows how to outplay, even when he's at the disadvantage, know how to outplay most opponents. And also, you don't really want to mess with Herc, especially once he hits level 5.
I think Baskin missed the Sun Wukong ultimate, right?
Yeah.
He got juked by, that's where it all went wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
After that, I would have bailed.
Yeah, but instead he kind of tried to stretch it there. But, that's the thing, is that the Bluestone Pendant is not tremendously effective against Hercules once he gets level 4, level 5, and has mitigate wounds. But we have an engagement over on the right side. Zapman's going to be forced to leap out of this one. Hindla may be able to close distance. Yeah, they'll get a good chunk of burst out on the Zap. Can he hit the blind pull, though, can Jeff? And no, he's not feeling too confident there. I mean, he could have tried to, get the stutter step and still find the pluck, but instead they'll take the safer play and invade over here on the left side and take the purple buff away, as Andy rotates over.
Which is important. MLC Stealth makes the rotation, and if you get nothing for that rotation, it's generally a loss.
It was just smart play out of Zapman and PolarBearMike. They immediately recognized, there's a Janus against us. Janus has a very nice global ultimate being able to, but there's actually a cage going down the middle.
Lassiz in a good bit of trouble here, but Daredecare's going to be able to put out a lot of damage onto Andy while the Janus heals himself. While the Ra heals himself up, and that banish coming out actually helps Lassiz out just a little bit there, avoiding the in-hand damage coming out from Odin. There's maybe a wash, but that snipe somehow split all 3 members there of Cloud9.
I'm not sure if Lassiz gets out of that if he doesn't go in the portal.
It's close. I mean, it would have either been the portal could have maybe been used a little bit later to try to, when he's basically forced into that direct line away back to the tower to clean that up after a couple more in-hands from Odin. But just a little miscalculation there, and Lassiz will escape, and that's the power of Ra, the healing. Very, very effective.
It's going to only become more and more of a problem as the game goes on, especially once Ra gets some damage items on. Lassiz likes to go full damage Ra, which definitely not only amplifies the snipe ability, just his overall damage, but the healing just as much.
Which is funny, right? Because Lassiz plays basically full CDR support Janus and full damage Ra. Often you would see that go the other way.
Yeah. A lot of the times Ra. Will we see, we will see a lot of damage come out. Are we going to see at least a Lotus Crown out of this Ra, you think?
No. Lassiz, so his playstyle, especially with Janus or Ra, he definitely, he's more of a utility mage, but he definitely emphasizes the fact that utility mages can do a butt ton of damage. Lassiz will be able to hit very dank snipes, and he will also be able to heal his teammates.
Baskin learned.
Yeah. There you go.
Birds away.
Yeah, away he goes.
Just don't mess with it. That's it. Just farm up, and
yeah, there's no sense in fighting it at the Hercules. Maybe you can slow him down a little bit, but ganks are unreliable as we've seen so far.
Oh, yeah. Not really anything they're going to focus on. What is going to be focused on is the left side, though. Another bit of engagement coming out here. Good ultimate coming out from PolarBearMike. Going to take a lot of damage off the mark. And there's an execute coming out for the out Kuang. Daretocare picks up the second kill for Eager. He's going to get aggressive on the Jeff. But the dash is good enough to get Sobek out of trouble.
That's clever stuff by Jeff there. He basically holds the dash until the potential re-engage comes out, and then away he goes.
See, the AMC pick would have worked against our team, which is why we banned it out, because Weekend doesn't like to go to dual lane. But I think Cloud9 forgot. That's Daretocare. My man knows how to come to dual lane. They're gonna catch themselves a quick gold.
And now Kuang, one of the better gods at assaulting into the dual lane, right? Because probably the biggest issue with, they're gonna try to force this one on MLC Stealth. But JeffHindla with a great peel there is going to keep. That position was really excellent. He actually
my!
No, he didn't.
Lassiz.
No, he didn't.
Feeling himself.
No, he didn't.
Wow. That was through the purple buff, blinds. I mean, I'm sure he had some sort of vision, but yeah, like, good play for Lassiz.
That was
right
teamwork
there.
vision.
Yeah,
that was communication
absolutely,
vision, right?
yeah.
Break that down to how the mid laner doesn't see it with his eyes, but sees it with the ADC's eyes.
Yeah, I would imagine, like, he would be like, oh, well, he's behind the tier 1 tower. You can clear for the shot. Boom. Lassiz just goes in for the snipe, and Lassiz just, he's amazing with Raw. Like, I think he's, like, one of the only pro Raw players left at the moment.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we see Lobster over in Europe take it out sometime, but I think you're very correct in the sense that Lassiz and he's excited to play this god too. We were talking about it. He's just like,
He loves Raw.
I want to play Raw. And
He brags about it to me. It's like, I'm bringing it back to 2012, baby. Like, Raw every game. I'm like, okay.
It's
fun.
fun.
You know, we said like it's definitely going to be the full damage composition, but Lotus Crown, like 4th and 5th item here, could actually come out because of how much damage over time there is on the side of Cloud9, how poke oriented they are. Right, all that extra protection really would help out against that Muzen Cup Sun Wukong, right? Because you got to think, once this gets down in this phase where they're sieging, they're eating honey and they're eating Jingu Bang every 8 seconds basically.
So here's Lassiz's habits in terms of item building. He likes to go for the pen boots into an early Chronos pendant, then he goes straight into Book of Thoth. Then from there, most mages mid would get some sort of penetration item. I wouldn't be surprised if Lassiz just rushed Rod off of that. Maybe later on you would see maybe some sort of utility item.
Yeah, I
but
think
for
a
the most
4th or
part,
5th slot maybe.
Yeah, like,
Probably
but
5th.
Lassiz prefers the full damage early.
That's a huge Cataclysm blink in for PolarBearMike. They catch out BaRRaCCuDDa. They're also going to catch JeffHindla in an awkward position. They'll force out the Janus ultimate, but the damage is already done. Stealth will try to make something out of nothing, but Andinster not in position to follow this one up, and Lassiz has already rotated in. He'll fuel back up the Geb, and that'll be that. And that's another clean kill for Eager, 4-0.
Important point. BaRRaCCuDDa died without Daretocare having to use the execute, so
That's just the problem with Muzen Cobb. Even with Janus's rotations,
Yeah.
Muzen Cobb early game is just so weak that he can't really, like, he needs full-on protection or he needs a diversion. The diversion would have been some sort of camping in the soul lane, but they're actually, Cloud9 has opted not to do that this game. They're kind of all over the map right now. And I don't know, Eager's taking a quick early lead. They set the pace of the game. It's up to Cloud9 to really respond to that and see where they want to go with this. Because I honestly think Daretocare is just going to keep coming to dueling.
Right, yeah, and so we were getting at this earlier when the fight broke out, that how good Kuang is out of the jungle pool and actually ganking the dual lane. The invisibility really helps out a lot, because one of the reasons why dual lane is so hard to gank is because the support is based there. The ward coverage is usually pretty good because the ADC is such a high value part of your team. That being said, Kuang has an invisible blink.
Yeah.
So as long as he basically makes his way out of the mid lane without being spotted and then is able to blink not right on top of a ward, he can, generally speaking, make his way in.
I mean, see, I would agree with you, but then look at Kuang's actives. My man has an invisible blink and a
blink.
regular blink.
Yeah.
Like, he has double the distance to cover on a god that has no escapes. Like, that is the dream.
going to what you were saying about getting out of mid lane safely, that's why it seems, why would you put that? Hold that thought real quick as Andy blinks in with the cage. Stuck in the middle of nowhere as that
You
man
can keep
can't
going.
get out.
That man's dead.
Yeah, there it is. Just toasted. BaRRaCCuDDa gets a kill.
He beats one for that, too,
He did.
because he was
did.
crippled out.
Yeah.
Right, he
Well,
was crippled
actually,
there.
it was smart. I would have probably done the same. The Xbalanque ult stunned AMC and the Odin,
Right.
which is very rare, but it does happen. I think they were in the moment. They wanted to kill him as quickly as possible, and there's actually invade going down on red from Cloud9.
But I don't know, man. Andy doesn't seem that comfortable in the Ocean. He backs right out the second they see Lassiz.
I mean, this is
There
not
goes the
his
corner.
play style, right?
Yeah,
You
well-
see Andinster on the Assassins, the Thors, the Cirquets, the Willixes, but you don't ever see him on a war. This is more Weaken's play style. Weaken's the tanky
Wait, is
initiative.
BaRRaCCuDDa going to somehow live?
Wow.
I was like, oh, he's dead for sure.
PolarBearMike very low. Daretocare picks up the kill on BaRRaCCuDDa. JeffHindla takes out the opposition support. Sobek dealing the damage.
I
Not a
mean,
good trade.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
no.
the rotation was nice there from Eager, and that's one thing they are very good with, especially with Zapman, like, on the team. They'll capitalize on the fact, here, there's a tiny opening, they're pushing up, let's gank. And right now, all the focus has been in dual lane, and I know what Anderson's trying to do. He has the Odin pig. He's going to try to trap in the Xbalanque because Xbalanque has no, ins or outs.
Whoa,
And wow,
Jeff
the
almost
Ross
got it.
Yeah, that was close.
Exploded there. Lassiz just off the mark, and they don't secure the purple buff either. A little bit of a misfire there from the Eager mid laner, but you can see the power of the Ra. I mean, especially until these tanks get their first defensive item online. Extremely high damage. 400 base, 100% scaling on Searing Pain. It hits like a truck.
I honestly think Lassiz is one of the better mages in the game right now, and he, like I said before, he emphasizes damage. He wants his damage to be out there and blow everyone up. That's one of the mages that, most mages go like Spear early or something like that, Divine Ruin maybe. And Lassiz is just full damage.
And he wants to be everywhere all over the map. He wants to be around and rotate. That's why we see this ward right here in the lane. It's not an accident. A lot of times some people might think, why would you ward the lane? You're going to be in anyway. That allows the mid laner to rotate a little bit more.
You always have vision on your mid laner, potentially the jungler, and that's really the central point of the map is the mid lane. So having full vision on anyone that can peek by is
Despite breaking
huge.
out here, Zapman in a bit of trouble. He's going to go for the Rising Jaguar to avoid some of the damage. It's a 4v1 for
Four
now.
people here.
Gem Shield comes out though in time. PolarBearMike blinks in with the Cataclysm as well. Zapman's still standing and putting out damage. JeffHindla. Lassiz takes him down again. Zapman to fall. PolarBearMike, he's dead as well. A stylish play, but not turning well out for Eager until in comes Daretocare. Can he go down to the backline? He has to wait on his cooldown 2 seconds for Wild Storm.
Yes.
Will he aggress further in? Did he spot out that backside rotation as well?
There it is. He's
Doesn't
going
matter.
aggressive.
He goes over the wall, goes Odin. They'll force out another cooldown, not get much more out of it. But it ends up being a really, really well turned around fight by Eager there on the back of the captain Lassiz, showing once again why he is one of the most gifted individual talented players in this game.
I just that snipe on Sobek. That was full on peel.
That's what we said we used the Gold Fury. Right,
Yeah.
the Gold Fury doesn't move. The Sobek moves, and he hit him with both Celestial Beam and Searing Pain at the same time.
It's just that combination of skills right at the times that his team needs it, and Lassiz gets another kill.
And that's the beauty of Ra. That ultimate just came back up.
Savage.
Ready to do it again.
CDR Ra.
Yeah, you take a look at the build with just the single Chronos Pennant. It's a low
He doesn't even have
cooldown.
actives yet. No defensive actives.
Watch him
Lassiz
go like
is
Male of
controlling.
Renewal right now.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean,
And just walk down the lane.
I wouldn't be surprised. If I had to take a guess, though, definitely I would like to see a Book of Thoth. More
Yeah,
damage.
and
Let's get Lassiz bigger.
No, he's going to go Divine.
Waiting on it.
No, oh,
Golden
Warlock?
Sash.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I saw Janus pick it up. Was that the same starting item? So I'm looking at him like, Tiny Trinket, really?
yeah, no.
But that being said, Divine Ruin Janus, is that what we're going to see, or is that a Bancrofts?
Potentially Bancrofts. It's not bad on Janus.
No, it's a fine damage item.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I think it's going to be E-Staff for Lassiz, I believe. Here.
BaRRaCCuDDa gets blinked on the left-hand side. He's stunned out. Zapman looking for more. The B is slow. The B is dead. Just a matter of time. Zapman gets credit for that one. One on him. That's 5 power onto the Xbalanque.
Zapman gets clipped there by the Janus ultimate. Stealth's going to poke his head around the corner here. Not going to find too much. Bit of damage.
See, people say,
Onto the chicken.
Allied, you play passive. Well, when you have screen partners like Eager, come on.
Yeah.
Like, that was
There's so
savage.
much aggression.
Super
There's
aggro.
so much aggression.
And I mean, sure, it's an amusing cob. That's sort of how you handle it.
Of
like
course.
like a hell, you want to gank it all the time because the upside of a fed AMC is way too much. But Eager is paying so much
Well,
attention.
notably, we saw Cognitive really struggle against Eager when Omega dropped that hell, and they tried to feed off of him, and eventually he just recovered, and it all fell apart. So that same recovery is still possible for BaRRaCCuDDa as well. You know, if they can force Zapman out of the lane a few times, force him to rotate into
It's
fights.
not over yet for the AMC pick either. Even though he has died 5 times, I would like to point out that he does have more gold than the Xbalanque, and that's mostly because of good farming techniques that BaRRa has developed over the years of playing Smite. On top of that, he does have full push.
What do you mean
and-
developed over the years? Zapman was playing for almost 2 years before BaRRaCCuDDa played a professional game.
Yeah, no, I
So
guess-
What's going on with Steve?
So I mean, let's break it down. Is it the last his? Is it the back camps on the way to the lane? Where's this extra gold coming from?
full clear, last hits rotating, maybe to mid harpies, but mostly it's just the last hits. I mean, okay.
It's the fire and forget wave clear out of Muzen. Right, basically, you put down your 2 spells,
Yeah.
and then you can immediately start recalling. You just rarely miss minions if you
Yeah,
do it correctly.
exactly. And especially with Xbalanque, Xbalanque has no push. That's the hardest. It's
Yeah.
really hard to especially get stacks. He's only at, I think, 55
Yeah,
stacks
it's
right now.
57 just now.
Yeah, and that's hard to deal with, but Cloud9 goes for,
That's secured.
yeah, easy goal for it.
So, yeah, you saw the aggression. I think they spotted out the PBM rotation to the right side to try to make the play as Omega was getting pressured under tower. And Cloud9 responds extremely well. I mean, that's the perfect play in that situation. They find the Gold Fury, and they draw this game back to dead even now in gold.
Yeah, and once Muzen Cobb gets late game, it's going to be that much harder to deal with him once he has the full lifesteal going, the crit. Ooh, you don't want to get him there.
Yeah, I'm using Cobb with the movement speed.
Well, look at Eager. Look at Eager's going to just continue. They're going to 5-man. Look at the atomization now.
I think it's about time for team fights.
Yeah.
And Eager usually is very good at like, hey, you know, we have enough gold, we have enough farm, let's team fight, let's push some towers, let's end the game. And I think they're going to start to do that soon. Maybe off another gank off BaRRa.
Because this will be an E-Staff at Lassiz, because they won't be Warlocks. They want to fight, I think. Because you see the defensive items being started out by Kuang and a second physical defensive item being purchased by Hercules.
Right.
As well as the tanking it from Dev. No big surprise there. But this looks like they want to walk at them and start taking towers down. That mid lane tower is probably next up on the buffet for Eager.
Yeah. I would like to say also a lot of people don't see is a defensive item on Kuang. Spear, which is penetration, basically makes his attacks true damage if you don't have any kind of magical defense right into a defensive. I would assume Mail Renewal at
Likely.
this point.
Yeah.
It's such a powerful item.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to take an objective or a kill down and getting 20% of your health back, well, it's pretty good.
Omega gets one, but he gets stunned out nicely there by Baskin to prevent that follow-up stun. And now he's just going to smack Stealth around and try to force Janus out, but Stealth a little too wily there on that Janus. Smart play, bails himself out. Lassiz doesn't have a target to fire the missiles at just yet.
I mean, that's Omega's job, right? Run into the team fight,
Yep.
disrupt everything, blow cooldowns. I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to waste your time. I'm here to make you get angry.
Yeah,
Blow
he's
your
still
cooldown.
fighting.
Yeah.
And he's just there to waste time
Oh,
for the rest
correct.
of his team to come.
Correct.
Here comes Daretocare, takes Basket up to the skies. I doubt we're going to see an aggressive hit here from the jungler. Well, scratch that, goes right in the middle of the team. BaRRaCCuDDa is the target. PolarBearMike blinks on in, grabs 2 with the stun out of Cataclysm. Eager hitting the gas, going underneath the tier 1 tower here in the middle lane.
Cloud9 didn't take the bait there. Like, Dare jumped in and immediately beats 3, thinking they were
Yeah.
going to dump onto him, and they actually fell back, which is a smart play because they likely would have lost more to the reinitiation out of Eager. But Baskin there, I mean, Omega just kind of just was like, okay, well, I'll just stun you then, right? Like,
I mean, Omega was just doing Omega things. He's
Yep.
just like, well, I'm just going to hit you over here. Well, stunned you. You're dead. Like,
I think this Omega acquisition by Eager has been one of the more successful roster swaps that we've seen in Smite. Omega has just been plug and play into this squad and really just hasn't seen any downside.
I mean, even on Cloud9, Omega was the self-sufficient warrior player.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't really have anything. He didn't need Andinster to sit in his lane. He didn't need any kind of help to do what he's doing. He is self-sufficient. He knows what to do. He knows how to win the game just from his soul lane.
In fact, talking to Cred about it, Omega actually doesn't like the attention in his lane. Omega will ask to be left alone, let him do his thing, and Daretocare will begrudgingly say, okay, I'll gank the duo lane, and they just leave him alone because he gets mad when people come in his lane.
well, maybe one of the bigger strengths of the player as well is that it seems that, at least from the outside looking in, that Omega's not a player that relies on the shot caller for the team
Right.
to give him the indication of when he should port into fights. Right? He has such a good game sense that I think is factoring really heavily into his ability to play instantly on Eager, right? Is that it doesn't require Zapman to now all of a sudden make the right calls around where he should port in, right? Omega just has that game sense. It goes, it's time for me to port into the ward behind the Gold Fury and fight the team. Go, 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 right? He just kind of listens and makes it happen. I think that's really one of the intangibles that's really, really valuable in this player. And a lot of that maybe comes from experience with the game. And he's an older guy, too. I mean, he's not a super young player. He's got a lot of professional gaming under his belt, coming from competitive Halo and now into Smite.
I mean, you pretty much said it yourself. Omega's been around.
Yeah.
And with that comes experience, which you can use for the future. And it's really showing right now, even with the transition to Eager, he has brought himself from a rocky start in the beginning of the season with Eager, right? And now they're 3rd place, which is crazy.
Rocky start. Was that a Hercules joke?
Yeah.
Hindla finds himself in a good bit of
PolarBearMike's
trouble here. A couple more bolas from Zapman should do it. Having trouble chasing it down a little bit, though. Heavenly Agility's been popped.
Not going to quite make it. Lassiz hits
Got
the
him.
target. Knockup's good. Basic from PBM makes JeffHindla
Come on, Mike.
go right into
That's
the
5
ground.
damage for Zapman. Huge misplay.
Here's the
Here
rotation
comes
coming out from
Cloud9.
Cloud9. Right through the Janus
Where's
portal.
the ring? Where's the ring? Andy moves in
Zapman's
late.
very low. Zapman's toasted. Baskin all the way from the solo lane going to claim that
Pick a
one.
target. Andy's on one. Baskin's on the other. They're not going to have enough to kill Lassiz just yet. They're going to extend this fight a little longer. Some
There it
Wukong
is.
ultimate force out as well to get that kill. Omega can't save the team. Daretocare is here, but he's blinking back the tower as they're going to try to pick up the last
Nice
retreating
ultimate.
member. Baskin. Yes, Baskin will fall to Omega there. And Omega continuing to surge forward here. Mail of Renewal doing a lot. Shield of the Underworld as well. Healing back up, getting the mana to continue aggressing. Omega sounds like he wants to fight. BaRRaCCuDDa is going to go toe-to-toe with him.
Ooh, the stun is going to miss out of Omega, and that'll have BaRRaCCuDDa immediately get aggressive. Looking at Daretocare. Stinger is good.
the last
Dare's in the
shot.
ground.
That was nice. Thread the needle there for the last shot. Also, you saw the disarm coming into play there from BaRRaCCuDDa, not allowing Daretocare to turn around and put out any kind of slow damage out of his 2. So that's that.
A lot of people forget that AMC's new passive, which was, I think it was a couple patches ago, right?
Yeah, 2-3 patches.
Basically, when he applies honey or his passive bees through honey or swarm or anything, after a certain period of time, you become disarmed for 1 second, and then also you can prolong that every single time you auto attack. So you can get disarmed for 1 second, and then auto attack a couple times, and then you're disarmed again, then you're disarmed again. It goes on from there. As long as you keep reapplying your passive.
The B's damage also basically went from, I think, 4 ticks down to 2 with double damage.
Yes.
Right, so it falls off faster, but you can sustain it a little bit more, and the overall damage output goes up, assuming that you're hitting your in-hands.
Yes.
Which is really what Muzen does.
And that's also what BaRRa does. BaRRa doesn't really miss in-hands as much.
That's definitely his calling card.
Lassiz is here.
PBN trying to zone, Cloud9. PolarBearMike finds himself out of position again. The team a little bit far behind this one. Lassiz may throw a snipe through, but PBM is certainly dead. Now it's Zapman. He's forced to dip out of that one and use a sprint as well. He's not going to make it out in time.
Blink it from Andy was such a clutch play for Cloud9, and here comes the cleanup squad. One on the support, one on the solo laner. There's only 2 people up for Eager, and with that, Cloud9's going to look directly at the Gold Fury. Omega and Daretocare, I mean, there is some steal potential here, but Omega's all the way on the other side.
Well,
Daretocare's hugging the tower at mid.
saw Eager make some big plays here and show off their ability to win games, their individual skill, how they can get ahead. But this is Cloud9's composition and them basically winning the draft, I would say, really showing out there. Muzenkov aside, probably, that factors in a much more, I would say, obscure way and a little more esoteric as to why that's good for this composition. But simply put, the Odin, Sun Wukong combination makes it very, very difficult for you to play low mobility gods into this roster. And you're looking at Hercules, HBalanque, don't have natural escapes to that Odin ring. As long as Andinster's initiating and Baskin's in the area, it's very, very easy for them to net kills.
I mean, realistically, when's the last time you've seen Andinster play anything but an assassin? And I'm sure it caught Eager and everyone by surprise. And it's really starting to pay off as well. As 1-0 and 8, like Andinster is coming through. He's starting to get tanky now, and really he's going to become more of that utility jungler that you mostly see in weekends, right? You don't really see that too much out of the other SPL junglers. So Andinster.
Yeah, and he built into Runic.
Yeah, we're seeing that in his build as well. Runic Shield is going to lower down the basic attack volume from Daretocare and Zapman. And there's very few gods like Odin that can just sort of win a pick ban phase by themselves. And after the 3 characters from Eager were locked in, Cloud9 were like, well, nobody can jump.
Yeah.
Let's buy a ring.
Bunch of healers, no jumpers.
Yeah.
Odin very good at that. But also, let's not like downplay the fact that Cloud9 also drafted Sobek and took a weakening curse. Right, they have a lot of anti-heal on this team.
They're not trying to take their chances with healing.
Can we take a look at healing done, please, by the Raw? 10K at 25 minutes is actually fairly low, considering he was probably healing about 2K in engagement earlier on in this fight. Or sorry, in this game, right? They had those extended engagements there where Eager was falling back and healing up, and almost all of it probably came from those engagements, and now it's fallen off quite a bit.
As the game goes on, it's going to be that much harder for Lassiz to position himself due to Blink and due to Odin and Sobek being able to stick on him and stop the healing. It's going to be that much harder for Omega to sustain himself, and it's going to be harder even for like Zapman to lifesteal 3 targets just because of how much anti-healing and how much pressure they have. They have 3 tanks.
Also, Eager invested pretty heavily into these defensive
Portal's
items.
down. Portal is down for MLC.
Yeah, that's why you saw Daretocare go in, but he's not able to net the kill. But Eager invested into 2 Males of Renewal and an Ethereal Staff on their cores, trying to 5-man and group fight, and they lost the next fight. So now they find themselves maybe a little bit damage anemic now, and they have to make something up and get to their next items. They're going to try to go field from a BaRRaCCuDDa force out his beads. Now that's Daretocare locked into the ring. He uses his beads, waiting on the cooldown reduction. Going to try to blink out, but it's still 5 seconds away, and down will go Daretocare. The counter initiation too effective against the Dragon King. Tier 1 already down on this side. And Cloud9 pushing forward for the Tier 2 where they'll find PBM as well.
It's very hard because if you look at the minimap right now, Cloud9 has a lot of defensive vision. It's very hard to see who's coming, if they're going to group up. It looked like maybe an easy pick, but I think Eager misjudged there, and that's going to cost them 2 more members of their squad.
Vision coming out from the supports, even 12-12. Omega the only one here standing on his tower. Zapman a little bit behind. 4 members of Cloud9 though look like they want to make things happen. Double flip, double stun coming out from Omega. That's going to start things in the right way, but Cloud9 cleans it up the wrong way for his team. Takes out Zapman. Omega all alone in the ring.
Healing.
He's done a lot of damage to the team, but he's only 1 man versus 4.
Now he's healing. Is it enough?
Nope, Baskin takes him out for the 14th kill on the side of Cloud9. The tower going to go to that team as well.
Just the decoy picked up there by Lassiz. And Cloud9 gets in and out. A couple more kills that add to their coffers. And really smart play there by Jeff. Jeff really showing off his knowledge and experience of the game. The second that Omega uses Driving Strike, plucks that man, he dies instantly. Smart stuff. And if you look at BaRRaCCuDDa's positioning there, ready for the play, hit him with the Stinger right away. No Rising Jaguar out of the Xbalanque either. Exceptionally well executed by Cloud9.
I mean, right now it's just, especially as the team goes over time, they are scaling into the mid to late game, and all their characters are starting to come online. They're starting to do what they're supposed to do, and really they're just playing the pick game, right? The last 2 engagements have really been like, hey, PolarBearMike, what's up? We're killing you. Hey, what's up, Lassiz? We're killing you. Hey, you know, Zapman, you can't get away from the Odin cage. And they're playing it out. That's their whole team comp. Pick you out, grab who we can, kill that person, force disadvantaged engagement for Eager. And Eager, because of lack of vision and because of lack of map control, has no way to really respond to that.
Well, Eager wants to run this like 4-man death ball with Daretocare nipping at your heels kind of lineup, and it just hasn't been successful because they've been losing those 4-3, 4 and 5 fights against Cloud9 in the last few engagements. Just hasn't given Daretocare the opportunity to come in and clean up, nor Omega, which is really what this composition is meant to do. Outlast, Geb shield on the Xbalanque, he's fairly mobile, Ra to heal them up, make the time for the rotations to come in. Hasn't been successful yet. Yeah,
Cloud9's just been taking the bull by the horns and really been the aggressor here, protecting BaRRaCCuDDa, and that's why they sit about 9,000, little just below 10,000. So we're at 8,700 gold.
Yo.
What are you yo-yoing about?
BaRRaCCuDDa.
He has Frostbound.
He brought the DM Brandon.
That's it.
Heavy hammer.
Dude, have you ever queued into casuals and gotten 5 DM Brandons on the other team that all build heavy hammer and all play ADCs?
Yeah.
Savage.
It's really not
Cupid
great.
support coming at you live.
That's 5 ADCs all with heavy hammer to load
That
out.
makes sense, though. Think about it. I was in Cab, not really, like, doesn't really have the highest base stats in the world. Frostbound Hammer with Soul Eater, that's like 700 health.
Well, it's just like the less bad version of Fatalis for accomplishing a very similar thing for this character, which is he can't stick to things very well.
Yes.
And the Frostbound Hammer helps him there, and you're right. I mean, it gives you so much more than the Fatalis would at this stage in the build.
Of course.
The extra HP to deal with it, and more often than not, Muzen has to stand and fight.
Yes.
So that all
There's
helps
no
out
getting
quite a
out.
bit.
You are losing the crit. So without that, we might see 1 crit item.
It's
we
a
might
huge
not.
DPS decrease.
So you are losing the crit. It's a huge DPS decrease, but you are able to put out more consistent shots. Is that the idea?
Oh, it's consistent shots in terms of team utility and also survivability. The rating goes up.
Well,
right?
it's also, I mean, Runic Shield plus Frostbound Hammer onto the Kuang means that he's attacking like through Jello.
Exactly.
It also means that now BaRRaCCuDDa can 1v1 Zapman ridiculously well, right? It's like he can disarm him every 3 seconds. His attack speed is nerfed.
You can even compare the attack speeds. Right now, Zapman's only got an execution running for him. With no natural attack speed progressions, Xbalanque is going to lose the 1v1 every single time. Just with Soul Eater and execution alone, that's more than enough attack speed on top of Hive Steroid to take out the Xbalanque.
Hive, one of the most... Can we take a mouse over on Hives, please? This ability gives you quite a bit, 50% attack speed and 12 HP 5, as well as the bonus MS, while in its radius, which is quite large.
Yeah, that movement.
But that's what really
speed.
allows Muzen to be the assault rifle character that he is at the later stages of the game, where he's just pumping out those stingers. But here we go, the assault from Cloud9 into tier 2. Jeff finds the pluck and gets Lassiz' beads as well. PBM has to move forward to stop the initiation. And now Hercules looking for something. Shield of the Underworld activated, but Cloud9 ignoring the frontliners here. Now the ring comes out, and they've caught out 2 members of Eager. This fight getting very, very hectic here. Omega likely to fall as Cloud9 just continues to run through here, and Eager has really no answer for the draft of Cloud9. They have to, I mean, at this point, they're going to have to stretch this game out to the 45-50 minute mark now inside of Eager, and the Xbalanque is going to have to be 6 slotted and basically win the game for them. Well, this one's going to get out of hand.
Going to go ahead and get gobbled up by Daretocare, who keeps on the aggression. As Phoenix is still alive just barely, and Daretocare and the rest of the squad is going to make sure it sticks there. Baskin, hello. He's going to go ahead and back.
Yeah, right now, that wasn't the worst engagement for Eager or Cloud9, but they do lose tier 2. They get pushed into Phoenix, and luckily Daretocare makes a pick there with his ult. It's going to come down to, I think, the more aggressive pick. They need a hot pick on one of the squishy targets. Nice try, Lassiz. I respect that.
Well, BaRRaCCuDDa pending now for Daretocare.
Yes.
That
Obsidian
could be the
shard
start
for
of
Ra. That's interesting.
So this is
you said damage.
Yes, exactly. And basically, this is the mentality behind this. Of course, you got to always remember that the numbers guy Kret is the coach for this team, and by the numbers, Obsidian Shard is not the quote-unquote correct choice. But what happens here is Lassiz is going for these long-range snipes. These, let me see if I can one-shot you. And Spear, not going to help you out in that situation. Obsidian Shard is what you want when you're going for the bang, and that's what we're seeing out of Lassiz.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's maybe some of that. I think there's also a little bit of just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this item costs 2,000 gold. It gives me 70 power. I can get in and out of it quick. I can't build it into Hootie. There's no way I make it there in time.
There it is.
Like, it's a little bit of a of like a panic. Not so much panic, but just like this is the best option that we have for right now because we have to fight right now, not in 5 minutes.
You can look at Cloud9 grouping up for Fire Giant. I mean, Eager's at death's door. With Omega pushing on left, everyone has to group up now, and Cloud9's going to be forcing the fights. And that's really been the death of Eager the past 4 engagements. Cloud9's been forcing the fights, getting the picks that they want, and they control the pace of the game, and that's really Eager's strong suit. When the pace of the game gets changed against them, you really start to see Eager crumble.
Cloud9 can start the Fire Giant. Already very low. Fire Giant will fall before Eager even makes themselves known. PolarBearMike thrown into the hands of BaRRaCCuDDa. Meanwhile, Baskin pushing out 3 members all by himself. Omega trying to do the same, but it's not going as well as the Sun Wukong on the front side of things. And Andinster going to be locked in his own ring. MLC Stealth does take down the aggressive Omega. Now it's a 4v5.
Omega got about 3 members of Cloud9 down to 50% HP before he fell.
Yep.
But it should still be enough. Fire Giant buff going to heal them back up. It just didn't get that much done. Lassiz and Squad, they'll try to hold them out. They do have the Raw clear as well to help.
It was so interesting to me. Both solo laners did sort of what they're supposed to do, right? Omega controlled 3 people by himself, and Baskin did the same thing, but the Sun Wukong was just more successful because of the position of the 2 teams. I mean, 12,000 gold is going to mean a lot as far as builds are concerned, and you can look at the builds here for Sun Wukong versus Hercules. Sun Wukong's 6 slotted. He's got everything. Hercules is there, almost there, but just not able to do what the Wukong was for the team because of the rest of the backup on Cloud9, fully slotted. There's a lot of holes for Eager.
I mean, fully slotted on top of Fire Giant.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Eager is just trying to hold on at this point. They need the miracle pick. They need the miracle team fight, really, to kind of shift everything back into gear.
That's what the B does.
That's what he does.
AMC late game. I mean, it's starting to kick in. You see BaRRa right now. It looks like he's going for either a Deathbringer or Rage. I would assume maybe a Rage, or I don't know. It could be anything at this point, but yeah.
I don't know. I would guess that this will go. It's hard to say, but my guess would be Deathbringer. Maybe. And the reason I'll say Deathbringer is because he really needs like stopping power more than he needs kill potential, right? And the Deathbringer crit will give you that bigger number and make them try to run from you, whereas where Frostbound Hammer shines. Whereas Rageblade is more, I'll continue to walk you down and whittle you down over time. Had he picked it up in the 4th slot, maybe before the Frostbound Hammer, it would have probably very likely been the Rage there, because now 300 damage crits are very meaningful. Right. Now, or he'll just buy Rageblade and we'll ask him after the game. He'll be like, it's better. And I'll be sitting here looking dumb.
Well, the high volume, the fact of the matter is that a Muzen Cobb is going to be putting out a lot more basic attacks than other hunters because of the Hive bonus. So just by pure volume, you're going to be able to get those Deathbringer crits. You can depend on those a little bit more.
Oh, by bringing out the ring has been used, and it's Lassiz. They're going to try to tee off on Walking Aegis used, Gep Shield as well. They're trying to keep Lassiz alive. Heals coming out as well. Shield of the Underworld reflecting some damage for Baskin. The Janus ultimate comes through. MLC Stealth looking for the damage. Finds someone a PBM with the Unstable Vortex. Lassiz is going to beads that pluck away. Up into the sky goes Baskin on Sun Wukong. He'll come crashing down any moment, but still holding the front line is Omega. But they lose sight of MLC Stealth, who gets to the back line and kills Daretocare with a lot of their remaining damage on the side of Eager. And that's another Phoenix down for Cloud9. Eager, 2 remaining, 1.5 HP, and the middle lane being targeted now by Cloud9.
Lassiz still alive. Everybody's looking at JeffHindla now. Sobek surrounded by 4. Great body block coming out from PolarBearMike, but a better portal to save the life of Cloud9 support player. Now don't forget, as Cloud9 makes their way to the right Phoenix, that Eager was able to defend last time. Not sure if it's going to work out this time. In this tournament,
Why is that back off cooldown again?
Quick one.
Full CDR Odin at this point, on top of like Fire Giant and top of everything. Not that
Great boulder. Baskin could go down because of that damage.
Nope.
There's the
I didn't even lie. Shield of the Underworld. That man's got to run away, crit himself. In trouble. Omega gets the double.
2 in the fountain.
Into the fountain. Probably not enough, though. It'll be enough to maybe stall out the Titan here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still Cloud9's game.
Now, if you can block JeffHindla here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Now, don't forget.
Teleport, by the way. Coming
In
to
this
Baskin, too.
tournament, Eager came back from 3 Phoenixes down.
True.
Don't forget that.
True.
Absolutely true. I think right now, if Eager can get a miracle team wipe, they could very easily push
Oh,
down.
well, that's going to be a big one. Daretocare was a big part of that potential.
Oh,
Omega picks up 1.
Stealth killed himself to Shield of the Underworld there. He tried to backpedal an in-hand, but Omega will fall now. Sobek ultimate use. That'll clear the wave out nicely. Muzen can make quick work of any remaining structures. 10 more seconds for anybody to come back up. It'll be PBM up first. The next core coming up is Lassiz in 15. This game is going to end. My friends, GG, well played. Cloud9 G2A finds themselves a Muzen Cobb win. Crazy. The Dark Whisperer. Probably why he's picking Muzen Cobb, just so he can use that skin, you know?
I mean, it was a pure counter pick. And
Well,
it was a smart one at that.
Yeah,
No, it's because of the skin.
It's because of the skin, damn it.
Okay.
I got to be that way, dude.
I like that skin.
No, we saw at the end of the game. Max CDR, Odin, very successful for Andy.
Yes.
Yeah, because, I mean, we always, a lot of people talk about Odin. He does a lot of damage with the bird bomb, and then he falls off later. The ring never falls off. You just have it off every cooldown. It's good to work with.
We've heard Kret talking about how he thinks it's the best ability in the game
It's
currently.
a 40-second cooldown. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, guys, that does it for us for the camp whatever we do. What are we doing here?
Camp casters.
The camp caster is done. We'll be going to break. Let's toss it over to the analyst, guys. Take it away. Tell us what you saw, Chris.
Good to have you running the camp. I'm here once again with Incon from AFK and Anatoly, formerly from Eager. So let's talk about that last game. Let's talk about Spear, because I'm feeling that Odin picked it quite a bit that last game.
Odin was a very strong pick that game. You know, even after the first 3 picks, we knew Odin was going to be strong. Even after that, there was a Hercules pick who can't heal inside Odin ring anyway, and he also gets stuck inside, has no way out. So essentially, the entire team of Eager was stuck inside that ring.
And there was no hesitation coming out of C9 to pick Odin. They're not normally known for that kind of a pick coming out of Odin from Andinster. He's more known of that assassin type character. But there was no hesitation. They picked Odin. They even picked a Sobek to deal with the healing. They had the Geb Shield, the Ra, and the Hercules, but they had perfect anti-healing strat from C9.
And I have to ask, even with that first kill, we saw Baskin get the turnaround on himself. Omega with the Hercules boulder just kind of destroyed him early on in that dive. Was there any momentum? What was going to be the hope? How does Eager survive the early game? Did they have a chance?
Yeah, so Eager actually had a fantastic early game during that match. The problem was they let the Gold Fury go completely for free, which evened out the game, even though they were twice as many kills as the opposing team. So they really need to make sure that they get those wards on the Gold Fury so they don't let that situation happen again in the next game.
Yeah, so we saw Daretocare take off in the beginning of the game, and that's what was Eager's kind of focal points. But then in the beginning of the game, BaRRaCCuDDa was taken off against Zapman, and that was just basically the matchup of a Muzen versus Xbalanque. The early game favors the Muzen very favorably, and we saw that deficit in the Hunter matchup.
I mean, Incon, you put it well in actually the last analysis, which is Xbalanque worst entering the game for the first 5 minutes. And that Cthulhu Muzen did excellent work. So we're going into game 2 now. This is a best of 5. Even if Eager does drop this game, they're still not quite out of it, but I'm guessing now they can feel the pressure. What is their plan? What do they adjust? What do you think will be their new focus?
Number one thing here is I highly doubt Cloud9 gets Odin again. I don't think they expected the Odin pick. Like Totally said earlier, they are not known for playing Odin. That was kind of their sleeper pick that they came out with, and it worked really strong. I do not expect that to be picked up again by C9.
Yeah, they're definitely – Eager's not going to put themselves in a position to get counterpicked where they have 3 gods that can't get out of the Odin ring in the first 3 picks and then get countered completely by Odin. So they're going to review their picks and bans, and they're going to move it on. They're going to brush off the first game and move forward for game 2.
And you mentioned momentum last time, Incon, that whoever won this first match would take the series 3-1. Now, after that early game, after that possible win that you're going to have picked up despite the Odin, do you still feel that?
Yeah, so, Cloud9's feeling really strong right now. They're riding the hype train, but Eager basically needs to say, hey, we won the early game. That was our game. We just threw it. That's all right. You get into the next game. If they win this next game, they still have a chance to win the series.
Exactly what Incon said. Eager definitely can easily bounce back from this first game, make it 1-1, and just move forward from there. And it is a best of 5. There's many chances for this series to move forward.
Yeah, actually, something that the best of 5 has that you don't see in the best of 3 is it's a long, long time spent playing. At the shortest, it is going to be as long as a best of 3 could be at 3 matches. So what do you think will kind of affect the players? Do you think line experience will be a big factor here? Once again, Baskin going to be the new fresh player. Will this be an issue?
I don't think so much. Baskin and PolarBearMike, this is their first LAN event ever. So both sides opposingly each have one player that hasn't played at a LAN before, so they're pretty even on that ground.
Yeah, Baskin definitely showing his stuff here in the last series and this game. Like, he still bounced back after the first blood, so definitely forward to see him in game 2.
And especially PolarBearMike was actually on the casting desk earlier. He's been putting in his hours of work. I remember you guys were actually here at 8:30 going for that one scrim you could get in before Eager, or before you and Cloud9 played. So I'm hoping we see some good matches coming out.
Yeah, as anybody's game at this point, once we get into the picks and bans, we're really going to see, who this is leaning towards. But right now, 50-50.
Yeah, exactly like that.
So players, I believe, are still setting up for picks and bans. They're just actually filing behind us. So we'll go ahead, keep on discussing. So how's the LAN series been for you guys? How has this been?
LANs are always great. Even if you don't win, it's great to see the team get this energy going, especially when it's halfway through right now the SPL season. So we have another 5 weeks to go in the SPL, so everybody kind of gets revitalized. You get to see each other, hang out, have fun, have a good time, and get ready for the rest of the season.
Yeah, downstairs, we're just having fun watching the game. There's some Smash games going on, and we saw actually Cyclone Spin and Weekend playing downstairs H1Z1. Despite the turnaround, they were just, increased their synergy. They're just downstairs playing together games, just nonstop, just LAN environment.
Even after this series, you can tell there's going to be a lot of fun had between the two teams. Even though it's the head-to-head finals, I can tell they're going to have fun. And actually, the woo in the background confirming it. Now, into this next game, what are you going to be looking for as Cloud9? You want to keep that momentum going, but obviously the Odin pick not going to be as much of a surprise now.
Right, so, right now, BaRRA has been coming out with a lot of crazy picks. I don't know how many he has left in his bag, but if you can pick AMC and Cupid, you might as well go Artemis. Let's keep the roll going.